Hey everybody, I have been looking forward to doing this reading here. Let me see, there we go. There we are. Alright, I've been looking forward to doing this reading all week. I was going to try and do it yesterday, and it just did not happen to work out. But here I am today, able to do it, and we're going to do it, which is perfect because it's Friday, and it's going to be in time for the weekend. And I really wanted to make sure that it was done for the weekend because I know a lot of people kind of count on these readings to get an idea of what they can be expecting, the energies they're going to be feeling, advice that they should be taking, all that kind of stuff. With that being said, we're obviously leaving a full moon on the 24th and heading into the new moon now. So I just kind of want to see what these new energies are going to be feeling like, what we're going to be dealing with, what we're supposed to be focusing on, whether or not we're going to be having contact, things like that for multiple people, especially around this Halloween holiday. I feel like it's one of my favorite holidays just because you get to kind of dress up and, you know, be somebody who either you want to be or out of character, or, you know, really play just to whatever role you're feeling at that moment. It's just a fun holiday, I think. So, with that being said, we're going to be doing a bigger reading, obviously, than the last one. The last one, I just really wanted to kind of hop back into it slowly, feel it out, and go from there. So, with that being said, I have pre-prayed, I have not pre-shuffled. I just wanted to shuffle on deck for everybody, or on video for everybody, sorry. So, let's get it started here. I know I talked about doing some videos for twins in karmic relationships and things like that, and I think I'm going to try and get that out maybe around Monday or Tuesday this week. This is just going to be one for the collective here, and we'll kind of see what comes forth. My prayer is just asking that there be a message here for those that typically follow in my energy, and kind of give us some guidelines, some messages here. So I'm going to ask to be used as a clear channel for that, and here we go. Let's just see what kind of cards come out. I hope everybody's been having a good weekend. I feel like the energies have kind of let up in their intensity from where we were, you know, early spring through summer. I feel like those energies were just very intense for everybody. You know, trying to figure it out. I feel like everybody's been very challenged this year in multiple different directions, you know, career-wise, relationship-wise, emotionally, and it's been just a lot about growth and really, you know, pushing yourself into being who you're supposed to be, discovering who you're supposed to be on that full scale. So, let's see here. 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles ending. So, the 8 of Pentacles is obviously typically in relation to work, forging skills, whether that be a hobby or actual work-related skills like career path or whatever. But it's that idea of continuing to work and to build upon skills here. So let's see what we got here. We got the Princess of Wands or Page of Wands. We have the Four of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the 8 of Cups. And we have the 9 of Pentacles. So, the Page of Wands, or the Princess of Wands in this deck, comes across as kind of a younger, but still, in this deck, it's kind of a feminine energy. But it's about kind of having passion and hobbies and maybe desires to a certain degree. And hoping for kind of communication, a desire in communication and passion is really what I'm picking up. But it's kind of like a younger, I guess the way I'd phrase it is almost like hoping for conversations of how things used to be even, or how things were in the past or at a younger state. Maybe conversations with less complications, you know, that doesn't have all the adult weight that you would have in like a night. So that's kind of the energy I'm picking up here, where there's some desired communication or passion, but it's that younger, not necessarily carefree, but maybe without all the weight or the heaviness or the responsibilities or the duty behind it. The Four of Wands. Obviously, the Four of Wands is that twin flame card. It's that relationship, marriage, commitment kind of card. Twin flame, confirmation card even. Just, we'll see what we get with more clarifying energies or cards underneath it. But that's what we're seeing here with that. So, to me, so far, I'm kind of reading this as like, hey, I kind of am hoping that there's going to be some communication, or even just signs that there's still a possibility of having that kind of youthful, young energy without all the complications and heaviness that maybe the relationship has had in the past. And then we have the Queen of Swords here. So the Queen of Swords could just be a counterpart. This could obviously be divine feminine energy. This could be just because I'm a male reader, and my counterpart being a female. But I picked this up as kind of the counterpart or what have you, energy. This could be, how we're viewing our twin. So if your twin is a male, obviously, this may actually be represented as the King of Swords for you, Queen of Swords for me, right? So the Queen of Swords here is going to be, being in that logical state of mind, that driven, it could be, even a bit of fear. Is this person going to show up? Or if I were to have a conversation with them, are they going to be, very logical, driven, shut off, not very emotional, closed off, guarded kind of sense. We'll get more clarifiers here. And then the Eight of Cups. So the moving away of something that's emotionally unfulfilling. Heavy burdens and the weight of basically having an unfulfilling emotional situation. 8 of 10 is good, but we know we could get 10 of 10 or 9 of 10 even. And we don't want to settle for that B average or just slightly above average when it comes to our emotional fulfillment. We know we've had better in the past, and we're seeking out that fulfillment of absolute, abundance there. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles, which talks about the harvest. We're waiting for what we've been putting all this work and energy and self-growth and all this time, effort, energy, physically, emotionally, mentally, even, economically, whatever, what have you, whatever makes real sense here. But, putting in the work from the 8 to get to that 9. We're waiting. We're still basically willing to leave behind whatever is emotionally unfulfilling in order to get our harvest of what we know is out there. So let's get some clarifying cards here. And the bottom energy is the Nine of Pentacles. So right here we have again the 9 showing up. Hopefully I can get all this on camera. We're gonna work with that here. Okay. So, ending energy, the 9 of Pentacles, the harvest, or what we need to do to get to the harvest, right? Is kind of how I'm reading it, as like this progression here, and the clarifications that come with it. So, the Page of Wands with the Strength card talks about being strong enough to allow ourselves to go back into having that younger energy, having that ability to communicate younger, which means, you know, really letting go of some of the things from the past. And does that mean letting go of every last thing that has hurt you or anything in your journey? No, not necessarily, because some things you're supposed to learn the lesson from, and it's there to grow from. And other things, you know, you have bigger fish to fry, and you can't change what's already happened, you know. Sure, there should be some sorries and some, you know, growing and grievances that, you know, essentially have happened, but we have to move past them, and we can't continue to hold somebody in the past constantly. There's no growth available if all we do is hold on to past hurts. There's no ability for this person or yourself even to be able to move on from previous hurts or previous actions. You can't go back and change the past. All you have to do is work with the future. You know, that's the only thing that is still malleable. The past is written. It's already played out. That is how it is done. For whatever lessons, for whatever purposes, for whatever reasons, that's how things played out. Whether they're part of the contract or part of the process of, you know, what's the words I'm looking for? You know, reaching those triggers to show us where we still have room to grow. That, you know, we have to have that strength, that confidence, and that control in ourselves to be able to constantly return to that, you know, young state of playfulness in our conversations. You know, that sense that originally attracted our twin in the first place. That part that you and your twin share amongst yourselves, that you go like, this is home, this is how we connect, this is who we are when we are together, and this is why I am in love with this person, even throughout all the confusion and bullshit and hurt and whatever. This is the reason, because we have this, you know. And the King of Cups. So I'm really just reading this as kind of almost my own personal reading, but with shared energy here. So for me, the King of Cups in this is telling me that I need to open up emotionally again. I know that I've been very closed off with my twin emotionally. I had to, for my own protection, and to a certain point it became almost a thing of, you know, I don't want to open this door anymore because I'm tired of being hurt. I'm tired of watching her leave. I'm tired of her running, so on. You know, I'm just not going to talk to her. I'm going to, you know, put distance, space. If I know she's going to be someplace, I'm not going to be there. If there's a mutual place that we're going to be at, I'm going to, you know, I've even asked friends not to invite her places that I was going to be at just because I didn't want to be around her. So that kind of closed off nature of myself in the situation. You know, it's telling me to open up, be caring, be compassionate, be understanding, and be loving. Temperance under the Queen of Swords. So the fear of her being closed off for me, or them being closed off. You know, gender terms aside, you know, don't worry about that as much as kind of just the role. So for me, as divine masculine, this is my divine feminine, so on. So with temperance showing up, this is really talking about, you know, what's going on in my head, and you know, practice what you preach, kind of thing. So, you know, if I'm sitting there worrying about her being closed off, and I'm putting out those kinds of vibes, and I'm not really opening myself up or anything like that, I'm going to get potentially this sort of outcome here. You know, where she's going to be closed off, she's going to have to be logical about the situation, she's going to have to be guarded. Whereas if I can, you know, breathe back in the spiritual life, the spiritual essence of this journey into myself, essentially, with it, and say, hey, this is flowing upwards, you know, I can allow the emotional new start here. So even though this might require me to emotionally leave the situation behind, I'm really kind of almost getting a conflicting message here between these two, the Eight of Cups and the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is all about emotional new beginnings, emotional new starts, you know, could even be new relationships. But whether or not that's three-dimensional or just emotionally in my, you know, internally, one is about leaving and one is about starting something new. So this, to me, is like, hey, close this door on some of the old emotional baggage that you've, you know, brought into your relationship between the two of you. You know, let go of some of the things that you've held her to, because, you know, you don't understand everybody's full motives and everybody's full story on why they've had to make some of the choices they've had to do, and whether or not they were right, wrong, you know, is really indifferent for what it was. You know, they were put in a situation where they had to make some choices, and whether or not that choice, you know, hurt me or whatever, based on whatever information they had at that moment, that choice, you know, may have been right for them, or at least felt right. And even if not, how many times have I made choices that I knew were wrong, or were wrong after the fact, you know, and I went like, damn, I messed that up, I wish I could do that over, you know. And sometimes I don't feel like I give my twin that sort of luxury. I expect perfection a lot of the time, when it comes to our interactions in that regard. I go like, well, why the hell did she, you know, pick her karmic again, or why did we have this stupid fight and couldn't we just get over it, or whatever, you know. And the truth is it's complicated, and there's probably multiple reasons, and I'm only seeing it from my side, not necessarily her side or her angle on everything. And there needs to be maybe some more trust, blind trust, not necessarily in her, but in the process. And that's going to be what brings in this new emotional start here, and this 5 or 9 of Pentacles, the harvest, the growth to it, you know. And then underneath the 9 of Pentacles, we have the 5 of Wands. So the 5 of Wands traditionally is kind of about conflict and battle. And I think still it is a little bit about conflict and battle here with this 9 of Pentacles. I think we all have the tendency to fight ourselves, you know, internally, and go like, hey, I've done this, I've been down this road, you know, XYZ amount of times, and I felt the hurt, I felt the pain, I felt the trials and tribulations from this, you know, situation. But with this 5 of Wands, it's much more like almost like a path being driven out. Like, I've always kind of viewed it here, that's the right way, as him having to go from here to here to here to here to here with kind of this set up path to walk, you know. And it's a conflict, it's a journey, it's a process that he has to go through in order to achieve this harvest process. So I hope this is making sense to everybody, and we're all following along here. To me, at least, it makes a lot of sense for what I'm reading and coming across. So let's see. So, ending energy is the 4 of Cups. So, the 4 of Cups talks about, you know, really being kind of stuck in this mindset of maybe even looking at a third-party situation and not seeing the cup that's still available there, or the offer that's still coming in, the emotional offer that's still coming in. You know, there's some discontentment with the situation. And to me, this could be one of those things where it's like, hey, dude, you're missing the fact that even if your twin, you know, still has a karmic or whatever in the situation, you know, you've still had some sort of connection. So maybe you're not getting it all, but if you've been out of contact or you've had no contact, and all of a sudden there's a flurry of new signs and new things for you to process and new things for you to grow from. It's seeing that opportunity for what it is, and trying to get past the discontentment and basically turn around and accept what the offer is, even if it's not everything that you wanted right there at the exact moment, right? So the Empress here in the Page of Wands with Strength. So to me, this is kind of just a clarification as to who they're talking about, and saying, hey man, have the strength, when you see her, when you think of this person, to see her in her full beauty, and understand that even if you're still kind of just viewing the potential of this person, realize that even if it's not right now, right this second, that person still exists and they're still out there, and that should give you hope, even though it's really hard to potentially know that there's somebody that you're supposed to be with, and you can feel it deep down in your core, and you're like, damn it, I just want to be with this person. I miss our talks, I miss our kisses, cuddles, all of it, XYZ, trips, all of it, that person still exists. They're still there. They're still on this planet, and even if it's not quite right, the timing is not quite right, that you might just be closer to this process here. Then we have the Ace of Cups underneath the King of Cups and the Four of Wands. So this to me almost is like a offering here, either coming in to me it's a lot more coming in, but it could be going out. It could be still this same Ace of Wands or Ace of Cups being matched up with this Four of Cups here. So there could be some sort of emotional new start that's essentially occurring, whether that's like the ability just to kind of open up communications again and say, hey man, I don't know why we keep shutting down communications or all this. I know things have been difficult. I know this, and this, and I know in the past, but the fact that we keep coming back to each other and we can't, we still have these feelings after all this time, there's something here, and, trying to open that door, even just to whatever degree it can open at this moment, whether that's friendship, whether that's just the, hey, we're going to unblock each other, or whether that's, hey, let's talk while we're around each other, even if that's rare and it's just here and there, whatever that looks like, it's opening that communication back up, and maybe that comes in as an offer from them, or maybe that's the offer that comes into you, and it just doesn't quite, it's not everything that you were hoping, but it's still there. And if you just turn around, you'll see that there is more potential for growth, and that you should really be using it to slingshot and boost yourself off of. And then the High Priestess here under all this, this is really saying, use your intuition. If there's some standoff, guarded nature, why is there standoffishness, and what can we do to neutralize things like that? Can we neutralize it by, just playing it cool? Maybe not talking to them right away when you see them, and just totally gushing. Maybe it's, just kind of hanging back and just making sure they saw your face. Something as simple as that. Maybe it's just a quick wave and a smile, and playing it cool, using your intuition to let it really guide you between, and keeping the situation balanced. So this is kind of such a interesting series of cards here, because we have the Eight of Cups, then we have the Ace of Cups, and then we have the Five of Pentacles, which is somebody feeling like they've been left out in the cold, which is probably why there's been this, emotional walking away. This just isn't quite what I want. This, I've been feeling left out in the cold. You know, in the past when we've tried to do this, and then, you know, all of a sudden communication is dead for whatever reason, you know, and it's made me feel left out in the cold. This could be one of those, you know, things that that maybe needs explanation, even though it's been explained again and again and again. This could be one of those things that's an outcome for some people, where, you know, even though they might have like a brief run-in or a brief interaction, more communication, text messages, and all of a sudden things kind of die back down. What have you. This could even be, you know, your twin feeling like they've been left out in the cold because you've been emotionally distant and walked away. You know, and them being like, dude, I've been feeling totally shitty. You know, I've been feeling like I've been left, you know, like high and dry. I've looked for you. I've tried to manifest you. I've tried to send you, you know, get the universe to send you signs. I've said prayers, blah, blah, blah. You know, and I can't get a single message from you back, you know? So there could be a lot to this card. I know personally I felt like I've gotten a lot of signs that my twin has wanted to communicate, and I've actively ignored them in the past. You know, I wasn't ready to deal with her. I didn't want to deal with her, and like I said, I intentionally avoided places that I knew that she'd be at. And I think a lot of those places that she was only going to go to just on the off chance to see me, you know? She doesn't typically hang out with that group of people, so something like that, you know? Hopefully she doesn't get mad for kind of sharing all that, but, you know, such is the life. I've got to be real, and part of that is sharing the experience, so it's relatable with everybody. End card, the world. Ending of a major chapter. Ending of a conclusion of the major arcana here. So with this, we're closing out on some form of chapter here. Whatever that is, whether that's the summer chapter coming to a close, or, you know, the fall chapter starting into the winter chapter, whatever. However, you know, the timelines and storylines, they all don't necessarily always match up with the seasons, but it is, you know, a significant chapter that closes out. Whether that means that, you know, this is the ending of no communication, or that means that this is the start of a long period of no communication, or what have you. You know, I think the energies will tell us more as they come, but, you know, let me just pull. I feel like we're just kind of missing like a closing card here, you know, like just a quick little bit of a closer, and then I'll finish this video out. So we have the Ten of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. This talks about, you know, finding the emotional abundance and happiness, even the promise between the two of you by finding basically balance. So whatever balance looks like, you know, I know me personally, as much as like I'd just love to be with my twin, I know that that's not practical at this moment. I have too much stuff for me to do to even realistically fathom the idea of us being together right now, because in the past I feel like I've rushed things. I've tried to put things together that weren't quite ready, and just kind of hoped that it would make it on its own, you know, if we both worked at it. And the reality is that I need to have my own situation balanced before I can have her. So for me, this is balance upon myself. And am I far away from it? I don't think I'm far from it. But I have work to do still, if that makes sense. So I think we all still have some work to do, and I think that's where we're at. You know, just understanding that we gotta work, continue to work, we'll get the harvest, and we'll end up here with this happy outcome. For me, the King of Swords is obviously indicative of kind of how I need to go about doing that. And that's being driven, determined, putting forth my everything, and doing everything that I do with everything. Conviction, determination, discipline, decisiveness, all of that. That's how I do it. I don't know if that's how you guys do it, but I know when I find my complete balance, when I got my diet on track, when I got my workouts on track, when I have, you know, this side of my spiritual self on track, and I got my work side on track, and everything kind of, as I get the big pieces, I start to see the picture more and more, and it really becomes a lot more clear as to what I need to do and where I'm lacking at. And I hope that helps you guys in forming your own picture and helping you guys figure it out as to where, maybe if you're lacking or if you're missing something, you know, bringing that balance in for that happiness. I think, you know, with my work schedule, if you've made it this far, I'm assuming you guys are probably interested in the channel, or at least you like the sound of my voice, whatever, something like that, right? I'm gonna open up my private readings. I think I will have maybe 3 live readings. My schedule is evenings and weekends. Probably won't be able to do anything this weekend, but evenings and weekends from here on out. I'm located in Mountain time zone in the United States, so any time in the evening in the United States I should be able to accommodate, as well as weekends for anybody that is outside the US. If we can match up a time frame for that, I'd be happy to meet you on that. Anybody outside that doesn't get within those 5 live readings, I'd be happy to do recorded readings for you. So I'm just going to go first come, first serve, and also if you just want a recorded reading and you're not particular, you want to leave those slots for other people, just let me know in an email. Thanks guys, much love, much appreciation, have a happy Halloween, and I will be making a video here in the next couple of days